What is up, guys? It's Ryan with RC Customs. I almost just said it's RC Customs, but it's Ryan. And I know it's been a year. It's been a long time since I posted anything, and there's a little explanation behind that. I haven't been able to work on anything really. Well, I have, but I've been waiting on parts for this to come in. As you can see, it's climbing on the lift. We're gonna redo a ton of shit on this because, yeah, it's been sitting for a year and rotting away. So, wow, that's terrible. I installed these. I'm a bad mechanic. These are getting ripped out anyway, so. But, yeah. So, I'm gonna be getting the engine back shortly. The short block. I was going to build the engine and going to do a video on like how to build an engine, stuff like that. But I actually had to send the block out to get notched for the stroker crank. I was starting to do it. I was notching it myself. And then I was just like, this is just fucking crazy, ridiculous. I'm gonna be sitting here all day trying to get it perfect. So I brought it to a local machine shop who we use at this shop all the time. Great guy. But yeah, so he notched the block for me. And then while it was there, I just gave him everything. I was like, hey man, can you just assemble the short block for me? I kinda was like, oh, you know, this will be my first engine rebuild that's like actually done correctly with like the right tools and everything, like micrometers, like measuring bearing clearance, all that stuff, thrust. And then I was just like, you know what? There's a lot of expensive parts in this engine. I'm just gonna give it to you. Can you take care of it? So he's been building the short block for me. It should be done in a couple days, hopefully. Last time I talked to him, the bearings that he ordered were on back order, but he said he just got them in on last Friday. It's the holiday weekend, so that's why I'm kind of like, oh, is he gonna get it done? Hopefully he does. Shout out to him if he gets it done. I'm not gonna shout him out really because I don't know if he would even see this or cares. But so anyway, I did buy a bunch of other parts to help with when this is running that we're gonna be installing. Not all of it today. I got the Coney front shocks. I got Cobra brake upgrade kit. I got these used from a customer. The customer had these lowering springs in his car and he didn't like the way they rode. They're BBK lowering springs and he just put in Steedas instead. So I was like, oh, I'll take them. And we're gonna get rid of these drag shocks. Look at the draw on that, it's crazy. We're gonna get rid of these drag shocks and these drag springs in the back because I'm not drag racing this car. It's a naturally aspirated 2-valve that is probably gonna make 300, 350 when we're done. So I'm not dragging this car. And I went on LMR's, Modular Head Shop's website. I saw they offer Holly for these cars. So we're gonna use the stock harness and a base tune and tune it on the stock ECU to get it running, driving, get it going. And then once I know the engine's good and broken in and it has a nice tune in it and it's actually driving nice, then I'm gonna pull it back in the shop. We're gonna put Holly in it. It requires a lot of checking because you're gonna have to wire things to the CCRM in these cars. Take the stock harness and add inputs to the Holly and make sure those work. And the only way to make sure those work is if the engine's in it and it's all wired up. So we're gonna be doing that in the future. And then right now, the engine that I'm building or having being built is gonna be 10.7 to 1 compression. So it's gonna be pretty high compression for a 2-valve, which is good. It's naturally aspirated. It has the naturally aspirated cams in it. So it should be a fun little ride. I'm putting a 340 Aeromotive pump in this car. So we can run it on E. We're gonna be able to run it on E, but that's gonna come way down the line. probably when we're doing the Holly, probably once we know it's good, and once it's not so cold. In the winter, the E is just terrible. So, and I'll go through a full list when the engine is in and I'm actually putting the heads on the engine, degreeing the cams, setting timing, all the accessories, all this little stuff that I got that I think will help this build be what it is. Then also some of the other things, not really a focus right now. I got replacement doors for this because the doors are terrible. I actually got a nice scrape on it here from pushing in the building. There's some dents here that whatever. And the big thing I want to get rid of is this. And the hinges on here squeak. It's a high how, a WD-40 white lithium grease them. All that, they still squeak like hell. So I'm replacing the hinges actually. This one, if you look, how you know your SN needs a hinge. You see how it goes? Watch, look. See how it's hard to open and the door is sagging? There's a little bushing in there. It's a little copper bushing that gets worn out and that causes the door to sag. So you can order those copper bushings and use the door hinges, but I'm just totally replacing the door hinges, especially if I'm replacing the doors. We're gonna fix the interior because this door panel on the driver's side is terrible. It's falling off. Someone broke all the clips on it. So we're gonna fix that, and then hopefully we can a brain fart. I had a brain fart. Shit. I don't remember what I was gonna say. But there's a lot of little things on here, like the bumper needs to get totally redone. Like, it just looks terrible. It's like flared out really hard on one side. I was debating on wrapping this car. Oh, the headlights are getting changed out. There's a ton of stuff. And let me put the car up for you guys. Like, this car looks really rough. It looks like shit on the outside. The paint looks like garbage. It just does not look good. But the real reason I like this car, one, my first Mustang, so I'm gonna beat the hell out of it. But two, right there, that is a major reason why. Right in here. These frame rails on most cars are rotted through completion. This one is starting to get some rust here. So I'm gonna spray it down and make sure it's good. But I don't know if you guys can see in there. Right in there. They look mint. They look phenomenal. Not the best, actually not like crazy amazing. But they look way better than most cars I see. Most cars I see, turn this light off. Oh my god, blind. Most cars I see are rotted through completely. That's one of the reasons. Two, like, the body is in very good shape. I always forget that when I look under this car. The body's not in that rough of a shape. Like, yes, it needs new control arms. We're gonna get new control arms for it with the new bushings and a new ball joint already in it. Get all these leaves out of here. The K, whatever. The K is a little rusted, but it's gonna get painted. I'm gonna paint it while the engine's out of the car. Yes, this is a little rusted here, but really the rest of the car is really solid. Like here, the battle boxes are the boxes right here, the torque boxes are a little rusted, but they're not rotted through. Same with this side, they're not rotted through. They're rusting here, but we're gonna put some Rust-Oleum on it, some rust inhibitor, and hopefully stop that from rusting through. And really what upsets me is these freaking subframe connectors. Whoever installed them, welded them in, one, why didn't you paint them? Why would you not paint these? Like, someone was making this a drag car and then stopped halfway through. But like, the subframe connectors are really rusted. I'm gonna wire wheel them and paint them. The rear end needs a pinion seal. It's actually missing a rear end bolt here. So the rear end needs to get resealed. Honestly though, the axle seals look good. The axle seals weren't leaking at all. That's a plus. But yeah, it's gonna need a pinion seal. It's gonna need a rear end seal. And that's probably all gonna get done. I wanna put 373s in this car. Currently it has 410s, which is way too much for a street car. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, we're gonna put 373s back in this car, make it a nice, fun street car instead of a, oh my God, it's a race car. But yeah, like look, this says like Rosso competition drag shocks and drag springs in the rear. And then it's got like the competition shocks in the front and regular like iBox in the front, which is like crazy to me. These iBox are these stock. These might be like regular BBKs actually. Like blue like BBKs. Well anyway, they're getting changed out with nice used but new good ones. Transmission, getting a brand new clutch, brand new light and flywheel, billet oil pump, Ford performance pump with a boundary gear set. Very exciting. A lot of things are going to be happening. I might switch to long tubes instead of just running the shorties like I was before, because we actually have a set in here that's not too bad at the shop that I might use. But yeah, so this is going to be the next couple of days. So this is just a little quick update video I was making. I don't want to make the video too long, like just leave this one at 10 minutes. And then when you guys see me again, I'm going to be stripping apart this rear end and ripping these drag shocks out and these drag springs. Like I don't know why you would put drag springs